week, coming at you guys with a new video. Now today's video is going to be a little different than my regular videos. I told you guys with the new year I would be doing something different as far as like adding new stuff to my channel. So today is January 5th, the day after my birthday, and today is Sunday, Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I wanted to come in and do a quick recap of tonight's episode. I know it's a little late for me to be starting on recapping Housewives of Atlanta, but I've always felt like I wanted to do it, and I just decided that this would be the year that I would, start doing my recaps. Now, the first thing I wanted to touch on, I might mix in some old episodes with some new episodes. With this newest episode. The first thing I wanted to touch on is Kenya. Kenya was the start of the episode. Obviously, like we all, a good majority of us feel that Kenya basically has worn out her welcome on Housewives of Atlanta. Kenya does not have a storyline, and I feel like Kenya has just been trying to make herself relevant. That's why she's the messy. I enjoyed Kenya's messiness for the most part, especially that last episode with Monique's husband and that situation, because it was funny. She was basically saying everything that we were thinking. It was juicy, it was funny, especially the fact that Monique is the one that brought it up and put herself kind of in the situation. And once she did that, once she opened up the door, it kind of didn't close where she wanted to close at. But in this episode, Kenya is saying, I wrote down some notes. In this episode, Kenya is extra, and she's being extras. The way she says Savannah like Savannah, like the whole time last episode, to me it seemed like she was saying Savannah right in the confessional. She was saying Savannah the way it's pronounced. But all of a sudden she gets in front of the queens, or she gets in front of Lawrence, and she's like Savannah, like she's being extra draggy, extra queenish, and it's not necessary. Also, she was like, I also felt like she was being messy and trying to keep something up by asking Lawrence, "Oh, did you fuck Chuck too?" Excuse me for my language, but this is what she said. Basically, well, I'm paraphrasing. So I felt like she was being kind of messy. She was about to say, "Oh well, not only did Chuck have relations with two girls in the group, Chuck is also Trey." That was just her message to this. I'm glad Lawrence denounced that and didn't add any fuel to that fire. Next, we're gonna move on to to me, in my opinion, the less interesting parts, and then to the more interesting parts for me. So we're gonna move on to Candy and Mama Joyce. Everybody who watches this show feels some type of way about Mama Joyce. Mama Joyce is one of those really controlling mothers, and Candy has not set boundaries. Now, I understand. I'm so hot. I understand a controlling mother, because I have one of those. But ever since I got with my husband, ever since I met my husband and had my son, and then we got married recently, I set boundaries with my mother, especially after my son was born, about how she did things with my husband. Because it was a point in time in the beginning where my husband and my mom clashed. And he wasn't even my husband at the time. At the time, he was my son's father. But there was a time where they clashed, and I set the boundaries then with both my husband and my mother. I was like, listen to my husband. I was like, listen, this is my mom. I understand you may feel a certain way about how you're getting treated, but she's still my mom at the end of the day. So, sometimes you have to fall back. But I also expressed to my mom, like, listen, this is my son's father. Do not disrespect my son's father, because at the end of the day, that's still the person I created my son with. So I'm not going to allow you to disrespect my son's father around him or in front of him. And then after a while, when I place those boundaries, I'm not saying this may work for everybody, but after a while, after I place those boundaries, now my mom loves him. He loves my mom. My mom, to some point, my mom loves my husband and the baby a little bit more than she loves me, because she's like so many other people. She now sees the potential that I've always saw in him to be the man he is, and she sees the man that he is now, which I've always seen the potential of that man, and now she's good. But I don't know why Candy even brought up the musical in front of her mom, because it's like she brought up the musical in front of her mom to leave the leeway from her mom to say something, for her mom to speak on it. But at the end of the day, I feel like Mama Joyce is not going to change the way she feels. Mama Joyce is going to do what she wants to do until she gets her way, or until she realizes like she's not getting her way. I think in a sense she kind of feels like she's not getting her way, and she's starting to fall back by saying, oh, I'm going to live my life. But she's still trying to see if she can put a guilt trip and kind of sway Candy towards her side of things by saying that, oh, I'm your mom, I would never turn against you, and you turned against me, and this and that. Like, I understand being a protective mother. I have 2 children. I'm very protective of their mother. To this point, my husband and I were having a conversation about, I said that I would probably be the mother-in-law from hell when it comes to my son. And he was like, no, I'm not going to let you interfere. But you know, when you're a parent, you have this instinctive nature to protect your children. But at the same token, you have to understand how it was for you when you were dating and how things were for you. So you have to kind of step back sometimes, and you kind of have to realize, well, regardless of how I feel, this person is an adult, so this person is going to do whatever they want to do anyway. But that's all I want to say on Candy and Mama Joyce. Next, we're going to touch on Cynthia. Woo, Cynthia. Girl. First off, I had a problem with Cynthia's sister feeling like, even having the nerve to feel like, I'm coming in town to do some things and I can just stay at my sister's house. Reason I have a problem with that, because how you just gonna feel like you can stay at your sister's house when you and your sister's husband have issues towards each other? Like, for you to even do that, you were being real messed up, because you know for a fact your sister is still married to this man. So, and you know you don't like this man, you know this man don't like you, you know you and this man have been in very high tension situations. So what will make you feel like, okay, well, whatever, I'm over it, I need somewhere to stay, I can just stay with them? And be like, that would be okay for Cynthia and Peter. That was not, she was saying, you know, she wants to mend things, she wants to fix things, but I don't feel like that was a way of wanting to mend things and fix things. But I do understand where she was coming from, as far as like, you know, you have to fix the other stuff that's going on in your life, because the other stuff that's going on in your life does present a problem when it comes to sex with you and your significant other. So yeah, she did make a lot of sense in that part. And can we all agree that Cynthia's sister is bodied? Like, I love her shape. Okay, I also wanted to add this about Cynthia. She also gave her sister the ammo to kind of cause issues when she was like, oh yeah, this is Peter's new car that I didn't really know about. Why would you even tell your sister like that, something like that? Why would you say, okay, this is such and such, and this is such and such, and this is Peter's new car? That's it. Don't say this is Peter's new car. You didn't even have to say that's Peter's new car. But I guess she probably would have asked anyway, because she just seems like that type of person. You could have just said, well, this is Peter's car, and that's it. For you to say, oh, this is Peter's car that I didn't know nothing about, and then we're having financial situations and we're not having sex, I guess giving your sister ammo to be like, man, what is going on with you and this man? You need to just leave him, because he was never good for you in the beginning, because that's how they felt anyway. So, but I also agree with Peter. And did we all not see when Peter walked in the room, he was not there for Mel. He was just like, oh shit, not this. And that's the vibe he was giving off. And I don't blame him, because they have issues. And I agree with him with everything he said, because her sister already came. Why am I need this? Her sister already came with the BS when her sister was like, no, you can't say that to her. You can't say, basically, Peter's saying like, damn, you can't just come and tell me your sister is staying with us. Your sister is staying with us for 2 months, just out of the blue like that, and we haven't discussed it. We haven't discussed where she's gonna be staying. We haven't discussed, oh, you know, would it be the, you know, because me and her don't get along, maybe I should go to this place until a certain time, or I should go to that place until a certain time. Like, y'all didn't even discuss it. And then for you to say, and then for the sister to be like, well, you did something to her without telling her, so she has everybody she don't have to say. No, that's wrong, because the sister knows she was like wrong for that. And when Peter was like, she's crazy, I agree with Peter. I was like, yeah, she was looking like a real sociopath by the way she was acting, like she was getting off on whatever was going on. The fact of the matter is that if you're not having sex and you bring another woman in your house, it's like, I think that's stupid as hell. for one, y'all already having issues. Y'all having financial issues. Y'all having issues because Cynthia's health is not the best, so that caused issues personally between y'all, and then y'all not having sex. For you to bring another woman into your house, that's stupid as hell for two reasons. You're creating a separation between you and your husband. And the fact that they have such strong feelings towards each other, there's a thin line where those strong hatred, tension feelings can turn into animal attraction. That's just my opinion. I know people are like, what the hell she talking about? I'm just saying. So that can go one or two ways. But by you bringing your sister in your house, you're not having sex with your husband, y'all have financial issues, y'all can't even communicate right, you either pushing him into her arms, or you pushing him into another woman's arms, because either way it goes, he do not want to deal with you, he do not want to be around you. Not that I'm saying that this is right, but when you're in a relationship, when shit is already messed up, you do not create more pile of shit to add on to this bullshit that you're already going through. You don't do that. So you know y'all relationship already on rocks. You should tell yourself straight up, listen, I love you, you're my sister. I think this is a good idea if you stay here with Peter and I. Maybe, you know, I don't know what the financial situation is. You know, I can't really help you because I ain't got no money like that. But I mean, maybe in a couple of months, or maybe, you know, you can stay, we can work something out. But for you to stay with us for 2 months is not really a feasible, it's not really good for us right now for you to stay with us for the next 2 months. Portia, let's get to Portia. Portia's mom. Her mom babies her and is a part of the reason why Portia does the thing that she does. We all know this. Her mom is a part of the reason why Portia is the way she is. We can't deny that. I'm proud of her, though, taking a step and saying, I gotta move out your home. I'm comfortable, but I'm becoming too comfortable. I'm becoming too dependent. I need to get out and get on my own. I need to really try to do this on my own, because I went from you to Cordell, and now I'm back to you, but then I don't really want to be with you, so I go to try to see if something could be different with Cordell, and Cordell is like, no. So like, I just don't want to be on you. I just want to see by myself, which I commend her for that. But I also feel like before she made this big decision of buying this very expensive house, which I don't know Portia's pockets, but I don't know if she could afford it, because it's a really big house. It's a big house for just one single woman with no kids, nobody. Like, that's a huge house. That's like a family house. So I feel like, yeah, the house is a bit extravagant. I don't know her pockets. I'm assuming from between her Bravo checks and her appearance checks, and then her alimony, if she even gets me, I don't know, that she's able to afford this. But I feel like it was a very extravagant on her part. But I also feel like, you know, in one aspect, I'm proud of Portia for trying to get out there and trying to go out on her own. But I know in a sense that's not what she really wanted to do, because she wanted to go from her mom back to Cordell. But then when she seen that Cordell wasn't on what she on, basically Cordell was not changing his position on how he did things with her, she was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just try this out on my own. So I give her that. Now we're gonna get to Nene, Phaedra, and Chuck. First, let's talk about Nene. Let me go to Nene. I think Nene and Chuck had a little messing around, or they wanted to. I feel like there's some hidden sexual tension between Nene and Chuck. Phaedra was right when she was saying that, you know, she thought Chuck was coming to her, even though it did turn out that's what he was doing. When she thought Chuck was coming to her about what went down in Savannah with Monique, she was like, that's between Monique and Chuck. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, that was 20 years ago. If you gave your wife a sugar-coated version when we happened to come together, like, even when Portia said it, Portia kind of gave it a sugar-coated version, even though she was kind of being real about it. Because she told her straight up, yeah, we were friends in middle school. You know, it wasn't really nothing. But we were friends in college. So, you know, we were friends. You know, we dated, friends, college. Like, Portia is basically saying in so many words that, yeah, me and him used to mess around. she never said that me and Chuck was boyfriend and girlfriend. She said we dated and we used to mess around. I was shocked as Phaedra. I was just as shocked as Phaedra was when he asked him to do appearance in Athens. But it did turn out that he was still trying to straighten out whatever that was, what happened between Monique, Candy, and Phaedra. So we're gonna go into the whole Athens trip. First, I want to say Nene is a lush. We all know Nene loves a drink, which I ain't mad at her because I love a drink too. As you guys know, it's my birthday weekend. Yesterday, January 4th was my birthday, and I was just having a drink while I was watching it. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Okay, we're gonna go into the Athens trip. The Athens trip was really cool, and what they did, you know, I think what they did was going back to their hometown and basically showing the kids in their hometown, like, you don't have to get stuck here. So, you know, I think that was really cool. It was also cool up until Nene took off her shoes. Nene's freaking feet are humongous. Like, Nene should have kept them shoes on because her feet, from the angle I was looking at on TV, her feet are not cute. When Phaedra spoke to the kids, Phaedra, I guess she was kind of inspirational, but I also believe that Phaedra did, you know, said a lot of cliche stuff that people who speak to kids say. But I mean, it was cool for what it was. Now, Nene, on the other hand, I like that Nene was kind of being cliche, but she was also being Nene by saying boom and, you know, telling the kids, oh no, we'll have some ice cream this Friday. You know, she was being Nene. But we know with Phaedra will always be this polished Southern Belle type woman. So we already knew Phaedra was going to be cliche. Now let's get to this scene in the truck with Chuck. Chuck was being a complete asshole. Chuck was being a complete asshole and trying to take things out on Phaedra for telling his wife the truth instead of just saying the truth. Like, you should have straight up told her, yeah, I messed around with Phaedra. Like, and you knew she was going to do this show. It's like, that's the thing that's messed up. I feel like in a sense, he set that up to making sure his wife had a spot on the show. Or he probably, I don't know what he did. But I feel like that was really messed up. Like, especially even if you didn't tell her when, because we know in Atlanta that it's probably small. And then the degrees of separation are even smaller because these are celebrities and the Atlanta elite. So he was wrong for not telling Monique like what was the real deal with Phaedra and Candy. Like, Phaedra, it's like he was trying to make Phaedra look like some type of jump off or some type of little hole that was clinging on him. That, no, what happened was that you and Phaedra knew each other. Y'all used to play little kitty little mess around in middle school. Y'all probably did not have sex. So you and Phaedra get out in the big city of Atlanta. Phaedra's this up and coming lawyer. You're in the NFL. You got all these girls on your job. Phaedra sees you. She has some sense of security with you. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go mess with him because I know him. You know, I'm dating all this, but you know, this is my, excuse me for being crude, but this is my dick in a bottle. This is who I'm comfortable with because I know him from back home. So yeah, we could have sex, we could mess around. He's this big NFL player. I know it ain't nothing for what it was, but yeah, I'll mess around him because I know him. That's what it was for Phaedra, and that's basically what she said. Even when she was talking to Monique, she cleaned it up, but she basically said, yeah, me and your husband was having sex back in college 20 years ago. But she didn't want to say that because she knew it would make her feel some type of way. So she didn't say those exact words, which was Candy. Candy did say those exact words, but Sandy was like, he's not gonna make it seem like, oh, I'm something else. Because even when he was talking about Candy, he was like, yeah, Candy was part of the team. Like, okay, we know you, like, you was some big NFL star. Well, I ain't gonna say that. We know because anytime I ask my husband about any of these guys, these sports guys that be on these shows, he be like, who is that? And he like, oh, so you know, it's not like they were like these big media hyped up guys. If you didn't watch sports, you don't really know who they is. And then even if you watch sports, it's like you kind of like, yeah, I think I remember him or whatever. But anywho, we knew you were this NFL player from Athens in a big city of Atlanta playing in Georgia. We knew you probably had all these girls on your jock and Phaedra was probably just a girl you knew from school, and you had her on your job, and you was messing around with Candy. But to make it seem like, oh, these girls ain't nothing, that wasn't right. Especially with Candy, because you even said it. Yeah, I made her feel special, but at the end of the day, she was just somebody on the team. But when you was messing with her, she wasn't saying, oh, Candy, you just somebody on the team. You wasn't even saying Phaedra, you was just somebody on the team. Phaedra was comfortable with the situation because y'all just messing around, and that's all she cared about. And then Candy was like, yeah, you was messing around with me, you was paying my bills, you was coming around my house, you was one of my family, so it wasn't just what you was trying. Yeah, in your head, it probably was like, oh yeah, Monique, yeah, I messed with her and I messed with her, but it was not a big deal. You know how it was back then. You were trying to make something like that to your wife, but you should have been a little more in depth, because with the women, you have to be a little more in depth. Because look, as quick as your wife came back, she popped off on you because she like, nigga, this is not what you told me. Well, and you had me looking real embarrassed. Now, had you have told her, yeah, I messed around, me and Phaedra was having sex. Yeah, I had sex with Phaedra. It wasn't just no crush. Had you had told her that, and had you had told her, yeah, Candy thought she was my girlfriend, but you know how it was back in the day, it wasn't only just Candy. Had you had said that to your wife and be honest, she wouldn't have been embarrassed as hell when she went to Savannah with those girls. That's all I have to say that. And at the end of the day, I just feel like Chuck is an asshole for doing that to Monique. But Monique is, I feel like she kind of stupid in a sense. I mean, I felt her when she brought it up, because in a lot of situations when things are like something you know can be potentially embarrassing, you want to bring it up because you want to be the person to bring it up and get it out of the way, versus you want somebody else bringing it up and you're like, damn, you're looking crazy, like, damn, why did they bring it up? So I understood her bringing it up with all the girls around, but I feel like she should have more information. And as a woman, I felt like in some sense she should have known a little bit better. Oh, that's the dryer. I was like, what is that noise? But yeah, that's it for my first recap. Housewives of Atlanta. I'm gonna find out what, I think it's season 3. I'm not sure what episode, but yeah, I know I started late in the season, but this is my recap, and I will be doing them from here on out. So let me know what you guys think. Until next time, I'm out.